I had it faithfully on there, okay? I had it faithfully on there, and today it said 11:45 tribe, and I said, "Oh my goodness, it's actually happening." Who else is super excited to be here? Let me just see those Zoom hands, okay? Yes. Oh my gosh. So my name is Roz. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a singer, songwriter, I'm a podcast host, but most importantly, I am a daughter of God. And I've been a part of Tribe for the last year, since last April. And I just want to share really quickly that Tribe has been a catalyst in my life to help me go from viewing my life in years to decades. And because of that, I have personally been able to see success to where now I've registered my LLC and all kind of stuff. And I'm launching into the next decade, and I'm super pumped. So if this is your first time here, go ahead and drop a 1 in the comments if this is your first time here. And if you are back, which I can see some names, and I'm about to call on y'all, so get ready, okay? Get ready. I see my girl Vanetta. I see my girl Tracy. Parlez-vous français? Oh man, so I'm just so excited that each of y'all are here. And Marlena, I know she wants to know what we've been up to, because she's about to tell us what she's been up to and drop some knowledge on us. So in the comments, I want you to drop what you've been up to, and based on that, I'm gonna call on you. Tell us what you've been up to this year, 2021. What did you learn last year from Tribe, and what you've been up to this year?
Yes. Oh, hey Vanetta, hey Omega. I love them glasses, boo. I don't think we've ever actually like been live together. So no. It's good to see your face in this place. Hey, hi. I've seen your name around, so nice to meet you. Welcome. Hey Tracy. Oh. Hey Kaylani. Let me know if I'm saying your name wrong. Hey Chantel, Jalissa, Lysandra. Hey lady. Hey Melody. Brittany Real in the building. Kristen, my girl. Oh my gosh, you guys.
This is amazing. This is so amazing.
Hey, sorry.
Go ahead, Chantel.
I was gonna say, one thing from Tribe, I recall when I first started was just coming to the office hours, not necessarily having anything specific to ask, but just to be dropped in and be nosy. And one of my struggles was just like being comfortable with asking for money and like charging people. And I just thought it was never going to be something that I could really get over, but I remember the price is the price, and so I actually do have paying clients now.
Come on, this girl, a millionaire now. Let's get it.
I'm a millionaire now. So yes. it feels good because you do it once, that means it's reproducible. And so I'm in that stage. I just want to keep going.
Come on, we love to hear it, Chantel. We love to hear it. That's amazing. She went from being nervous to not asking for money to now she's a millionaire. It's amazing. It's amazing. Okay, Vanetta said she is building and growing. She was building and growing in 2020, resting and re-strategizing in 2021. Okay, Vanetta, in 30 seconds, tell us what, I know it's not a lot of time, but in 30 seconds, tell us what you built. Tell us what you built, and give us one moment of success or one win that you saw from what you built.
Okay, thanks, Roz. Well, building definitely confidence. And I would say Marlena, Tribe, the community has definitely added to that. Like, I was definitely not an entrepreneur. I didn't identify with that label at all. So the confidence to actually call myself an entrepreneur is what I built in 2020, which I'm very, very excited about. And what was the second one?
Tell us one win that based on what you built, like build confidence. Tell us one big win from that.
So one big win is that I've been able to run workshops now based on some of the offer that I'm providing. I've done 5 of them now, which again, amazing to me. So yeah, excited to be back.
Oh, listen here, okay? Y'all better book Vanetta, okay? Listen, Vanetta is ready for all of y'all's conferences, workshops. Just let her know when you need to get your whole mental together, and she will be.
Oh my goodness!
I love it, Vanetta. So exciting. I'm already about to cry.
Right?
Lord.
Right, man. To hear that, to go from not having the confidence to even call yourself an entrepreneur, to now where you have booked 5 different events. And y'all, I will have to say, I've seen Vanetta in action, and even like following her on Instagram has been amazing. That she really gives so much value. So it's amazing. We really have, Marlena, I'm so honored to be a part of this community. We got like some 5-star folks in here, you know?
I mean, seriously, like it's a lot. Y'all are just showing out. God is showing out in y'all's lives. I can't even handle it.
Let me read some of these comments. Okay. Lysandra Campbell said that she has been wrapping up edits for a work project. Oh, sorry, my fault. We got you. You'll be on in 15 minutes. Sorry, I thought that was a response to the question.
She in the building.
Yes, girl.
Yes, I just launched my book. I saw you. I seen you. Yes, honey. Tell us about it.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm done. That was I had to edit a blog for work, but yeah, even in full time, I also write, and I have it just sitting right here, and then I stack the write-in journal. So I just as so I write full time for my 9 to 5. And when the pandemic started, a lot of that writing went from being like proactive to, of course, crisis communications. We deal a lot with gender justice. And so everybody's like, we got to talk about how COVID is affecting childcare and how it's affecting pay equity and how it's affecting all these things. And I'm like, I'm tired. I just want to write just to write. And so I launched a creative writing workshop last April, and continued working even with Marlena through that in the fall. And I think like halfway through my weekly workshop, which was a 2-hour workshop, someone was like, you should turn this into a book. And I was like, okay, I don't know, I'll try. And so, yeah, it is now available at, there's a bookstore in DC. I now live in New York, but there's a bookstore in DC called Politics and Prose. And so you can purchase it there, support independent bookstores. No, it's not available on Amazon because support independent bookstores. No shade, but support independent bookstores. And so, yeah, the writing workshop is also just based off of like my undergrad work with combining music and writing as kind of just tools for us to impact our well-being. And so there are sample writing prompts in here based off of different affirmations, as well as sample playlists. And then I also have curated playlists on Spotify. I've posted some of those in the group chat, but yeah. That's it. I'm still like sitting with it. It's only been like 2.5 weeks, and I'm like, oh, I really have this whole little physical book. But
come on, yeah, you need to first.
I'm looking for a journal.
I'll
drop the link in the chat.
Sorry.
Yes, drop that link.
Drop the links in the chat. Drop your Instagram because we want to follow you. You know, I'm a songwriter, so when you said writing prompts, I'm like, let me get a hit out of one of these prompts. You know, so I think that's amazing, and I love the detail that you shared about going from someone saying that, oh, you should turn that into a book, to snatching that idea and actually materializing it. That's just absolutely amazing, Sandra, sorry, I wasn't saying that part right. But that's amazing, y'all. It's almost 12 o'clock. And listen, here's why we came here today. We really want to hear from Marlena. I know this time is juicy because we're like, listen, this is all the stuff that we've learned and have been able to implement from the last year. So we came here to hear from Marlena, though. She has a lot of value that she wants to, of course, pour into us and share so much about what she's learned over the last year. So I'm going to just take this time to turn it over to her. And then Marlena, obviously, like if you want to ask if you want one more person to go, totally welcome to your platform.
Perfect.
Take it away. We're here to hear from you.
Y'all give Roz a hand. I love it. Listen, when we have our in-person meetups, plural, okay, tribe conference, all right, Roz is gonna be holding us down on the red carpet, whatever carpet we gonna have. Roz gonna be holding us down. Thank you so much, Roz. That was awesome. I just had to real quick shout out Omega because I know you said you've been lurking for a while. You out. I'm so like I'm just reading your comment. You said 2020 was a lot of rest and a lot of transitioning, but 2021 has been a ton of growth in so many ways. Girl, congratulations. I just want just say hi. Let's hear your voice. Tell us what you do.
Hi everyone. I'm Omega. I'm from Brooklyn. 2020 was like a halfway house. It was very rough. It was hard, but 2021 has been great. Just really stepping into just my authentic self and showing up fully as who I am in all the spaces that I enter has really benefited from it. So I've sold like my highest package several times. I sold one package, and then before I had one meeting with the client, she referred me to somebody else who then paid in full and wanted two. So like I'm like all of this because I decided to show up and decided to be more visible. And there's something to be said about really ignoring the noise, you know, and really just being who you are as you are, showing up every day in all the rooms and all the spaces that are created for you, just as you are, because there are people waiting just for you, for what you have. So I think when you really step into that and sit in that, like amazing things can happen. So I'm happy to be here.
Okay, now she just dropped the whole gem. She just got us started right there. I mean, what? Show up as yourself every day. Shut the noise out. I receive that. That is a word. I am so happy to just have you here. Thank you for sharing that. This chat, y'all. Ooh, this is about to be. I don't know. I don't even know. I hope y'all are ready. Like I said in my email last night, I don't know if you got it or not, but the tea is hot and it is ready. Okay. I just have a lot to share with you guys. So I am just praying, and we're gonna pray. Y'all know we're gonna pray before we get started. That's what we do. But yeah, I really believe that you're something you're gonna take what you need from this message today, because it's definitely an amalgamation of lots of lessons learned over the past several months since we've been apart. So I just feel full, and I just feel ready to just like pour. And so I'm just prayerful that you're going to get everything that you need. So if you guys are ready to get started, go ahead and give me a ready in the chat while I go ahead and get this stuff. I'll get my little screen and what. Today, as I mentioned, it's going to be pretty simple. I have the Fireside chat components where I'm going to be sharing just some lessons and things that I have learned. It's going to be a little story time, lots to just to share and bring you in on. And so we're going to start there, and then we're going to get into what's new in Tribe, because I know y'all maybe you have been in a little bit here and there since we kind of opened back up, looking around. So we'll definitely walk you through kind of what's available and what our upcoming schedule is looking like and all of that, because we are definitely getting back going. I am so excited and ready for that. Go ahead also and mute yourself as well if you aren't muted already, just to make sure, yeah, we're good on sound. Okay, cool. So we're going to do that. And then we're going to have just a little mini question and answer. I have some questions for y'all selfishly, but also if you have any questions or if you have feedback from anything that I shared, or you want to chat further about it, then we're going to leave some time at the end to talk through those things as well. So that is what's coming up here shortly. So it looks like everybody said that they're ready. Y'all can see my screen good. Let me just zoom in a little bit too. Okay. All right, cool. So let's go ahead and pray and let's get started. All right, Father God. Lord, we just love you. We praise you. You are so good and so awesome. And we invite you into this room today. As always, you are welcome here. Have your way. Father, I pray that whatever each individual person who is here today, or who's watching on this recording needs to hear right now, that you would help them to hear what they need to hear. Give them the word that they need to support them and to help them in this season, Father. And I pray, Lord, that I would just flow with you, not say anything unnecessary, but just let every single word that comes out of my mouth be blessing and be water to your people. Have your way. We love you. We praise you. And it's in the name of Jesus that we pray. Amen. All right, look at us. Hold on, let me get some more people in from the waiting room. We like 23 strong up in here. Okay, let's get it. Yes. All right. Yes. Okay, cool. So we are ready to get started. So like I said, fireside chat time. I am going to start with a little bit of a story here. And if you've been listening to the emails, if you kind of kept up with the newsletters, let me know in the chat if you guys have been keeping up with the newsletters at all. I have shared a little bit here and there in the newsletters, but we should be able to kind of give you a lot more background than even I've been able to share in the newsletter so far. So y'all gonna get all the tea, like I said. But in a nutshell, y'all, I have been in the wilderness, okay? Like, we're just gonna start there. It has been a wilderness season for your girl, all right? So back up, right? Toward the end of October of last year, I raised $21,000 from my family to help fund my 2021 Big Idea Food strategy, which, woo, exciting, yay, lovely. Y'all said, look, same, okay, wilderness. So that was a really great win for me, super exciting, all of the things, right? $21,000 is not a lot to sneeze at. Is not anything to sneeze at. So in the months to follow, in the month-ish that followed, I put the money, where I said that I was gonna put it. But it seemed like God was like changing the plans in real time. I'm actually gonna take story time. I'm gonna take this off so y'all can see my full face up in here. So yeah, we're gonna do that because y'all don't even need to see the slide right now. But yeah, it seemed like God was changing my plans in real time. Like, I paid for this or invested in that, and it just seemed like the plan then changed, and then the money was then like wasted, more or less. So like, for example, just to give you some context, I was creating some influencer gift boxes to tap into some influencer marketing for the book. But shortly after making that investment, in having the boxes developed, I realized that my heart wasn't right. And that whole, like, God just kind of like spoke to me in that period of time. And he was like, you think you need these people, and that's where you're wrong. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah, I think I need them. But then I also just wasn't feeling super genuine about reaching out to these people. I realized I wanted to build relationships with them just authentically and naturally, instead of like going in asking for something off top. So it just was feeling icky in my spirit all around. So plan changed. That was like a $3,000 little piece of change down the hole in a nutshell. So that's just one example. A large part of, you guys know that I've been like toying with and figuring out a podcast for the longest. And a large part of the reason I wanted to create a podcast, at least in this version of the strategy that I was building, was to provide a platform for the influencers that I was going to be reaching out to come on and speak, which would grow our audience because obviously they would share it with their audiences, right? Great plan. No shade on the plan, but when I changed routes from focusing on seeding the book to influencers, that changed the need for the podcast, because I realized that the whole plan around the podcast that I had was built around that, and that kind of went away. So that was after I had already invested in support to help manage the podcast. So again, more money down the drain. I invested in ads during the months or so that followed after I received my investment, which I got a lot of learnings there. I ultimately lost money, but that was just kind of a normal losing money. When you're starting ads, you're really testing and figuring things out. So that was kind of normal. I learned what I needed to do to, adjust that process. I'm happy to share more about that if y'all want to talk about that in the Q&A later. But, you know, normal learning there, but again, still money lost. And then the last like example that I want to share here is that I invested in a coaching program to help prepare to scale my coaching program. But one, which I realized after the investment, my program just really wasn't ready to scale yet. At the end of the day, I was still working on it, still fine tuning it, and it needed some more iterations before we started to try to scale the program. So it needed to be renovated. And go ahead and put yourself on mute if you can, if anybody is not muted. And then shortly after investing, I realized that the method they were teaching didn't really jive with what I wanted to build in terms of the company and business that I want to create. So again, money down the drain, y'all. So toward the end of November, I think it just kind of became clear to me that something was wrong. I'm like, what is going on? I am out here like just literally burning money right now. I don't know what's going on, but we need to figure this out. And it just was like nothing I planned seemed to be panning out. And it felt like, you know, this just isn't working. So I went to God, and naturally he was like, yeah, because you need to slow your butt down. You're doing too much, period. Like, oh, and you know, he was right. Obviously, he was so right. I needed to slow all the way down. And that was when I realized, you know, I had built this entire strategy, and y'all know me. I pray for the beginning of a session. So, you know, I'm praying about everything I'm doing, right? So it's not like I hadn't prayed through or prayed about the strategy that I had built, but to be completely 100 with you guys, I really wasn't giving him the time or the space to truly respond to what I was planning. It was definitely like, we praying, but really I'm just talking to you about what I've already planned to do. Okay. And that's where you're gonna go wrong every single day, right? So that was a very big, it was an eye-opener for me. Like, oh my gosh, I've wasted, you know, multiple thousands of dollars by living and doing business this way. Like, this has to stop, because if I want to be $1 million company eventually, right, like I cannot, this is not a good foundation to build on. And so that is when he gave me the idea, and some of you may have seen this in my newsletters a couple months back, but the idea to wait 7 days before making decisions. And in that time, I essentially, if there is a decision to be made, especially one that requires investment, I have a prayer journal now. Oh, I should have brought it over here. But anyway, I have a prayer journal where I am writing down, you know, the thoughts that I have, the plans that I have. And I am putting it before him for 7 days, and I'm asking him for feedback. His word says, ask for wisdom and I will give it to you. Cry out for wisdom. And so I'm doing that now. I am putting it down, asking him for wisdom, and uh, giving it a date, right? And I think that's the missing piece, right? Where we'll pray and we'll ask him for wisdom, but then we'll keep moving, or we do the opposite and we just sit there and wait forever, right? Until we hear back. So giving it a date really activated my sense of expectation towards him, where I'm like, Father, I'm really not going to move until I hear from you. And I really would like to hear from you by next Tuesday. So, and then I'm scheduling, you know, in my calendar next Tuesday, I'm checking back in. I'm checking back in to say, you know, God, what are we doing with this? And usually what is happening, y'all, this has been a game changer for me. Usually what's happening is he is speaking to me throughout that whole time period, right? I'm receiving direction throughout that whole entire time period. And it's because I've given him the space to speak to me about it, right? And I'm just like, every time the direction comes, I'm just like, oh my gosh, like, thank you. Y'all, I can't tell you, since I've been doing this, the money that I have saved, the stress that I have saved, I mean, it's just such a revolutionary decision-making process for myself that I highly recommend. But every time I'm just like, Lord, thank you for giving me direction. It's just like I hear him telling me, thank you for giving me time and space to speak to you. Like, I want to give you feedback about what you're working on. I want to speak to you and share what I would recommend in this regard, right? And so that was a game changer for me. But shortly after instituting that process, it was like early December, I also did a fast with Tiffany Montgomery. Many of you may be familiar with Tiffany Montgomery Millions Conference, powerhouse woman. And that fast I did, that was the first time, I ever did anything with her, and it was really powerful for me. And so all of these things really initiated a period where, like I said, I've been in the wilderness. I really didn't feel released to sell or create content or even do anything in Tribe, because I was just like, I feel like it really initiated this space where I feel like God is like recalibrating everything, not just my decision making, but just the way I am doing business, the way that I'm doing life, everything. It was just in flux. So I felt like I just couldn't really share anything. My offers, everything felt like it was on the chopping block, to be honest, like coaching, the community, everything. Like, I'm like, God, whatever it is you want me to do, I obviously have been moving too fast, and let me just slow all the way down and find out what the heck you want me to do. So I felt like I was sat down, like sat down. I was sat down, and it was a good time. This period has been life-changing for me. I am new, I am renewed, and there's just so much more than I can even share even today with you guys. But I am gonna share you guys some specific lessons and stuff. So we're gonna get into that. But I'm so thankful that, I'm now feeling like I've gotten what I needed during that time. I have been recalibrated, and I feel released to begin again now that I have this fresh sort of, way of doing and functioning and whatnot. So go ahead and share my screen again real fast. And let me check in on the chat with y'all, see what y'all talking about. But go away. Okay, yeah. Putting pressure on the Lord. I love that. Yes, expecting to hear from him. Y'all, I'm telling you, that expectation piece is it. Putting a date, like, God, I'm believing for you to come back to me with an answer. Yes, there's something sweet in getting still. Absolutely. Yes. Everything on pause, been there. See, Omega girl, we can talk, girl. Okay. Portia said I'm always in the wilderness. Yeah, I feel like the wilderness is like timeout. like I've been in timeout. He done had me sitting down with my face in the corner. So I finally, been on good behavior. So praise God. But like I said, I do want to share some specific lessons that I've gotten during my timeout period with you all. I do believe that, I'm going to briefly touch on these things. I'm just going to drop them. Y'all can take, like I said, take what you need. But if you want me to go into further detail, I will definitely open up the floor for us later during the chat. If you're watching this on the recording, you can feel free anytime to DM me if you want to talk further about any of these things. I am happy to share. I'm open book. I feel like I want to share as much as I can with you guys about this. So, and then also, if you guys want to have conversations, have another, additional like times like this where we're talking and I'm sharing about a lesson and going into more detail, let me know that too. I'm happy to go into further detail about any of these lessons because, again, like I said, there's so much more here that I've learned than I even have time to share today. So number one, like I said, I've got 9 lessons for y'all today. Free game. Get ready for this good free game that we're about to give. So let me just get my lessons pulled up. So, okay, obviously, the first lesson I've already shared with you all, and that is implementing a personal decision-making process. Like I said, it has been a game changer for me. My 7-day period of waiting has, like I said, it has saved me time. I'm keeping a journal of like all the things that it has saved me. Like there have been things where I'm like, I just knew I knew what I was doing. Like it was literally just a courtesy that I'm giving God these 7 days. And after 7 days, I'm like, what was I thinking? Like who thought that was a good idea? Like what? So it's just so necessary. It really is. But the thing that I love about it most is that it has really helped me to stop packing a million things into my schedule. You know, like I have had, not only have I saved time, money, energy, stress, I have had more time to rest. Like waiting to the last minute on stuff was my MO. That is how I function and operated. All, I mean, from school, like early middle school, like I have been a procrastinator through and through from the beginning. And this has like, I don't know if I can say it this strong, but I feel like I've been cured of procrastination. Like it's deep, y'all. I mean, just because waiting to the last minute on stuff is virtually impossible now because I got to get God's feedback on it before I can even move forward, right? So I'm at least getting stuff done at least 7 days ahead of time, ahead of schedule. And that feels amazing. Like it has revolutionized my life. And it has helped me. You know, I'm realizing that I have to do much less. I have got to do much less. And I see now the various pressure that is on us to move fast and to rush. And when we have not stepped out of that, how it can really influence all of our decisions and have us out here doing too much and going too fast and getting ready to crash and burn. So it's a lie. It's honestly, if you are feeling rushed about something, I would say 9 times out of 10, that is not God. That is something else. Okay. It is the pressure of this world. It is not God rushing you. Okay. Because everything that he's giving you to do, and I don't mean like, you know, when God is like urging you to do something, there's that inner like, oh, if I don't quit playing, I better quit playing and do this. Like, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about like, oh, I got to do this right now or this, right? That stuff is born out of the pressure of the world. It's born out of fear. And we all know that God is not giving us a spirit of fear. Amen. Yeah, Vanessa said the pressure of this world. Ugh, it's a lot. Yeah. Absolutely. Ashley Dior said sometimes our insecurities come out when we mistake stillness and slowing down with not being alive or useful. Well, let me take a breath on that. Hello, Ashley Dior. Welcome to the chat, ma'am.
I mean, you preaching the whole word, so I was just putting money in the offering plate. That's all.
Girl, thank you. I received that today. So absolutely. So I absolutely encourage all of you. You may not want to do 7 days. I needed to do 7 days because like I said, I was in timeout and I needed some drastic changes on my end, but yours might be, I'm gonna sleep on it one night, or I'm gonna give it 3 days, or it might be something completely else. I have seen or heard of Lovey Ajayi, who she has a decision-making process where she asks herself 3 questions before she says yes to an opportunity. And I love that, you know. And so this is not saying you have to do what I'm doing, but it is saying institute a process that causes you and requires you to go through the steps before you can take action, because it is going to help you take smarter action and take more God and spirit-led action. So that is lesson number 1 that I want to share with you guys. Let me know. Hopefully that was a good lesson for you. Also, if you have an intentional decision-making process, please drop that in the chat. If you have a certain way of doing and making decisions, we would love to hear that. I think it would be really useful to just kind of knowledge share there, because I know that many of us have different ways of how we approach decision-making. So please, please, please share those in the chat. Tracy said me and God agreed on 3 days. I love it. I love it. All right. So free game lesson number 2, incorporate more silence into your routine, guys. Again, being in timeout, you have a lot of time for silence and reflection and just, you know, we're being quiet right now. But, you know, being in the wilderness has recalibrated how I approach life, how I approach God. I mean, I have been praising and worshiping him more and just growing into deeper intimacy with him and I thought we was intimate, but y'all, it has just continued to rise in terms of that intimacy, y'all. Praise and worship, it's just so key. Like, do not sleep on praise and worshiping God as often as you possibly can. And I think I shared a post about ways to build your intimacy with God on Instagram. Actually, I'll drop those in the chat too, because that post is really good. And then I also shared about just the power and necessariness of us, focusing in on his presence and how time with him takes priority even over our purpose. And I shared that in the newsletter, so I'm gonna drop that link in the chat as well, just so you guys have access to some of these more elaborated on thoughts that I'm sharing now. But intimacy with God is just amazing, and that's the real bag. And what I have been learning in my growth in my intimacy with him is not only praise and worship, not only reading the Bible, listening to sermons, journaling. All those things are great and helpful, but I've also been experiencing the Holy Spirit sort of nudging me to just be silent a lot more. And just to give an example of how it has looked in my life in these past couple months, sometimes during the day I'll be working, and I may have been working for a period of time. Maybe I've come to a roadblock, or I haven't been working long, but I just sense the need to just go and just sit down or lay down and just be quiet and listen. And you know and as I'm thinking and realizing this need happening throughout my days, I'm thinking like Holy Spirit probably been nudging me to do stuff like this like for forever, but now that I'm actually slowed down enough, I'm actually taking notice of it. So Holy Spirit be nudging us, but we just be moving too fast. So you know what I have been doing, in those quiet times, and I even incorporate silence more into my like morning routine with God. Like I will sit there and I'm just like, okay, God, I'm gonna just be quiet for the next 5 minutes. I got my notebook here, I got my pen. Like if you want to say anything at all, I am listening. And that's pretty much how I approach it when I feel that sense during the day as well. I will just go somewhere and just be like, okay, God, let's 5 minutes. I'm gonna just be quiet. I'm gonna shut my brain down a little bit, and I'm gonna take some pen and paper with me. And usually he has something to tell me. There's something I need to hear. There's something I need to pay attention to. There's something I'm not realizing. There's a blind spot, right, that he has revealed. And again, I have testimony after testimony of just like the power of just being quiet. And again, it's all in this context of stopping the rush, right? Stop moving so fast. God is speaking to us and to you, but when you are just moving 50,000 miles an hour, like you can't hear. It's just like a blur, right? And so this has been really, really clutch. I can't even keep track of all the specific ways that it has helped, but helped in the ways in whatever work I was creating and whatever plan I was considering. It has just been really, really helpful. And I think that some of you guys may have my Create with the Creator shirt. Shout out to y'all. Y'all been around for a little while, but I think that's what it looks like. I think that we have to give God room to speak to us, to direct us, and to guide us. A lot more room, and not just in the morning or not just during your normal quiet time, but as much as possible throughout the day, when and if you can. And I know that's simpler for some more than others. Some of our schedules are not amenable to that, but if and however you can, I really encourage you to try that out. Yes, Ross said, I'm loving these lessons, go take a nap. I also want to share this book that I read during this time called Emotionally Healthy Spirituality. I don't know if anybody has read the book, definitely let us know in the chat. I just dropped the link in there as well. It is so good, y'all. This whole silence stuff, as well as just everything else to do with like our mental health and the way that we process and be with God, is just such a powerful book. So I want to share that with you guys, because if you guys are really loving some of these lessons that I'm sharing and the spirit behind it, definitely check out that book because it will help you. Mector said that book changed my life. Listen, okay. And the book came super random to me. Like a friend was like, oh, I wanted to read this with my boyfriend, but he wasn't on it. So do you want to read it together? And I was just like, okay, fine. Meanwhile, it's like this game-changing, amazing treasure of a book that I didn't even know God had for me. So definitely check that out. I'm so glad somebody else has read the book, because it is so good. All right, that is lesson number 2. Lesson number 3. You don't have to build a business you hate. Yes, and amen. So I really do believe that it's the silence, the silent time with God, along with just the life lessons and things that he's been personally curating for me in this season. But I feel like those things have helped me come to this and prompted me to really identify what is the lifestyle that I actually desire, and what it looks like to incorporate these rhythms and this regimen that I need with God in order to just do life successfully. And what it has really helped me realize is, like, I truly can design the life that I want. I can design my business to align with that lifestyle, as well as align with the things that God is calling me to do and asking me to do, and even the daily just routine that he's asking for from me. So another just kind of one of the lessons that God gave me through this that led to, like, the fact that I don't have to build a business that I hate is that coaching program that I shared with you guys that I invested in earlier. And the program is phenomenal, but what the type of company that it was leading me to build just wasn't, it just didn't feel in alignment with the lifestyle that I wanted. And or really in alignment with just what I felt like God was calling me to do. And for several months, I fought that feeling, telling myself that, what I really want to do can come later. And y'all know, I've told y'all, we've talked about this. I've told y'all, like, do what you want to do now. You don't have to wait. And I was dealing with that exact same thing. And so God coached me and he was like, no, he helped me realize that I am creating my later, right now. And that means, if I don't want this thing now, like, don't create it, period. Like, I don't have to create this. I don't have to do it this way. If it's not feeling right for me, no one is holding a gun to my head. Right. And I think we get caught in these, like, you just feel this pressure, especially when you've made an investment. In my case, right, I've made this investment, like, I got to make this work. Okay. Because we got to pay this money back, and that it's a scary thing to be faced with, having to make those hard decisions. But at the end of the day, like, you don't have to create a business that you hate. Right. We can create a life and a business that we love, that we actually enjoy. And for me, I know that as much as I love coaching, some of my clients are in here now. Y'all know we have some bomb sessions, okay? And I love coaching so much, but I don't enjoy the business of running a coaching program at scale that I was learning. And I just don't enjoy that. I found myself thinking, oh, cool, I'll build this business and then I'll sell it later. And I realized, like, why am I going to spend my life right now doing that when I could just build what I actually want to build right now? So, listen, okay. And so I realized, what I do enjoy and what does give me energy is absolutely creating content, which you guys are going to see the floodgates of content opening up if you guys follow me on social media or on YouTube. Get ready, because that's what God has been asking me to do that I've been putting off. But creating content, and then this community, period. This space gives me energy. Being here with you all, learning and growing together with you, just fills me in a way that I can't even describe. And I have energy and motivation around these things that I just don't have for a coaching business in that way. Like, I may disrupt the coaching industry. I don't know. I have some ideas, but that's neither here nor there. Just know whatever I'm doing is going to be in alignment, right, with a business and a life that I actually enjoy. Period. That's kind of where we're at right now with that. Destiny said, I love the transparency because that's real. Yeah, it really is. Absolutely. Whew. Yeah, Ashley said it's the example of doing something for 10, Ashley Dior said, the example of doing something for 10 years and realizing you don't like it, but not changing it so that you don't do another 10. Exactly. Like, oh, life is too precious. Life is too precious. And one of my favorite scriptures, it's in Timothy, and I'm sorry, I don't have the exact verse, or chapter, but it says God has given us richly all things to enjoy. And y'all, that is like one of my like life mantra scriptures. Like, am I enjoying this? Because God gave it to me to enjoy. If I'm not enjoying it, why am I doing this? I need to make a change. What can I do to change this? So absolutely. I had to share that with you guys. Next lesson up on deck. Yes, thank you, Destiny. Timothy 6:17. Perfect. Thank you. Next lesson is keep your outside influences in check. Woo-wee. And I gotta hurry up because we only got a little bit of time left. This one, you know, y'all know what this is about. This is just really about listening to God versus other influences. Being in this timeout, I've had a lot of time to think, obviously, about what I've done. And I realized, I've been in business. This is my third year in business, and I've made a lot of decisions from looking at what I see other people doing, whom I deem to be successful, whom I deem to, have something similar to the model that I may be trying to build. And these decisions have not always been in alignment with what God has actually asked me to do. And I have suffered for that. My business has suffered for that. A lot of times, and y'all have I've seen this post so many times and in so many ways, but I'm going to reiterate it. Many times we are looking for a blueprint when there isn't one. A lot of times you are the blueprint. What God is doing in you is the blueprint. It's a new thing. It's a different thing. And you really have to just, again, get quiet and go in and trust your own inner North Star that God is using to guide you. And just like Omega was talking about calming the noise earlier, we have to calm out that noise because it will have you out here doing a million things that have nothing to do with your calling and your purpose. And we have to quiet that noise. And so that's why I say keep it in check. Obviously, we don't have to go and become hermits. I don't believe that, but we do have to keep those noises in check. So I've had to mute people that were too noisy for me to be following closely right now, right? Sometimes you just truly have to turn outside influences down and turn God up. That's it. So I think that has been a really powerful lesson for me and has really helped me, especially when you're struggling with clarity. A lot of times all that noise of what everybody else is doing can really cloud your judgment and cloud your thinking. So again, when we cut out that noise, it really kind of helps turn up God's voice a lot stronger for us. Yes. So number 5, give God flexibility in how to provide for you. Oh, y'all, again, we could talk a whole entire time on this right here because I am in the middle of like a personal, I feel like I'm reaching a developmental milestone in my like walk with Christ when it comes to this right here. Like, y'all know how babies have like little developmental milestones. I feel like I'm just starting to crack one as it relates to this. And it's really, as I've been sat down in this time period, I haven't been selling, which means money from the business has been tight. Things have come in from previous things that I have sold, obviously, residual coaching income and things like that. But for the most part, new money has been really trickling, because I've been sitting down and I've been quiet and again, haven't been selling anything. And, when you're in the midst of it, it's hard to like see it. But as I'm sitting here, just looking back over these past couple months, as well as my whole life, God has still provided. Like, and the way that he has provided, it's just like, it's just now hitting me. And I know he's just like, thank finally, like she's growing up. But it is just now hitting me, like what I do, the work that I do does not equate to my provision, right? I can divorce in my mind the work that I am doing from my provision. And that's a really powerful realization, right? When you realize, oh, okay, I can do this work. I can do whatever God has asked me to do because God's going to take care of X, Y, and Z over here. So I can do what he's asking me to do, even if it doesn't seem like it's going to lead directly to income or whatever the case, which it probably is if you would just do it. But, it's just now like really sinking in like never before that I can just really focus on whatever the work is that God has asked me to do because he really is going to provide for me. So that has been a extremely powerful like mindset shift. I know it sounds really simple and I don't know if I'm really conveying it at the level that it has revolutionized in my mind, but it's changing the game for me because now it's a lot easier to obey whatever God is asking me to do because I'm just like, oh, okay, cool. Like, all right, you got this. All right, cool, bet, let's go. So yes, I'm glad you guys are feeling that because it has been a word. It is 12:40 and I wanted to stop talking by now, but hopefully you guys are with me. We might have to do our Q&A another day because we still got these lessons. Let me know. Do y'all want to like talk or do y'all want to keep getting these lessons? Let me know in the chat because I'm actually pretty flexible. We can do a part 2. Let me know. Lessons. Y'all said lessons. Okay, cool. Well, we're just gonna keep these lessons flowing. Oh, hey Shayna. I didn't even see you sneaking here, girl. Yes. Hey, Carrie. All right, cool. We're gonna keep these lessons going. But with this, I wanted to share just an illustration that God gave me. And it was with 2 of my friends in a mastermind group that I'm in. One of them is an artist, and she shared, we have like a praise report channel, and she shared in the praise report that she had been believing God for a specific sum of money. And she had said, I don't care how you do it, God, I'm just know that you're gonna do it. And sure enough, he provided an art commission just out of nowhere for her that was literally the exact sum of money that she had been believing him for. And amazing, right? So, and it really stuck with me because I'm like, gosh, she was like, God, I don't care how you do it. Just this how much I need, make it happen, help me out. And that's exactly what he did. Converse that with another friend in my group who was doing a coaching program launch. And she said, I'm believing God for 10 new coaching clients because that's going to add another $2,000 in monthly revenue to my bottom line. And it just so happened that she did not hit her goal, right? And when I looked at these 2, they both happened at the same time. And I saw, it was like, I just could like see so clearly, like, what if she had just said, God, I would like another $2,000 in monthly revenue, can you help me figure that out or help provide that for me? And then let God figure out how to do it, right? Like just divorce yourself from how he's going to do it. Let him do what he does. He's the provider, right? Like he knows what he needs to do. And you don't have to like prescribe the, exact ways that he needs to provide for you. And y'all, I'm telling you, this has just been blowing my mind because I've been doing the same thing. I've been just like that. My colleague, right, where I'm just like, okay, I need this, this specific thing in order to make this thing happen, pay for this and whatever the case. And I'm done with that. Let God do it. Let him work. Give him flexibility in how to provide for you. So like I said, I really want to talk more about that. I don't know, but we're going to stop there and keep it moving. Lesson number 6 is, hey, Glennis. Yes, I missed you too. We missed you. Let me make sure my chat is good. Okay. So lesson number 6, build the ark for the rain you're expecting. I'm sure this is not like a new lesson to you guys, but I do want to share some of the ark that I have been building. I told you guys that I was going to share sort of how I am adjusting the Big Idea Food customer relationship funnel, right? I'm not calling it a sales funnel, it's a relationship funnel. but how I'm adjusting the funnel to really minister to my customers at every step of their journey with us. And so I want to just share about that and share some backstory about what led me to make the changes in the funnel that we are making. And so some of you who have been here for a little while, you guys know that I last left you with my 1-year goal of selling 2 million copies of Big Idea Food. And huge goal, right? Craziness, all of those things. Sidebar, I have shifted from focusing on a 1-year goal. So my coaching clients are probably going to be like, no, she didn't. But we still doing 1-year goals, but I'm focusing. We set the goal for direction, but now I'm focusing in on like, what am I doing this quarter? And that has been working well for me. So much better. Anyway, that's just a sidebar. That's not even a lesson, but the 2 million copies has not changed. And that 2 million copies came from me finding out how many people fit my target demographic in the US. And it's roughly 2 million Black women entrepreneurs. And I was like, well, those are who love my book and all of them should have the book, right? Or 2 million Black women Christian entrepreneurs. So that's kind of where it came from. And that desire has not changed. I still desire that, but again, in the wilderness, God sat me down and was like, if I send you 2 million people, where am I sending them to? I'm gonna take a drink because I need a drink after that. He was basically like, why would I send 2 million of my people to you? It was just like, oh God, like, why are you, I thought that we were good. I thought everything was great. And, you know, essentially he was highlighting the fact that while I had, you know, tons of grand intentions and plans to care for the people that I was believing for him to send, I did not yet have the solid infrastructure to truly take care of them at the level that he could really trust me yet. And that's real. Like, plans are great, but at the end of the day, like, these are real people's lives, right? And plans ain't enough, right? We got to have real stuff built in. So, you know, I realized then from that prompting that I really needed to build the ark, you know, for the rain that I was expecting. Yes, God, I fully believe that God can and will send, you know, 2 million people will buy this book, but what's next, right? How am I caring for those people after they bought that book, right? So I have to create the space for him to do that, right? To send those people, and that space looks like creating the infrastructure, right? He will send the boatload, but I have to obey what he's asking me to do. So that's what I've been doing also for the past few months, is just building the funnel, the infrastructure for this entire company. And it's a work in progress, y'all. I'm probably like 75, 80% of the way there. It's been like building a skyscraper on my own, but I wanted to just share some things that I'm doing in the funnel, just to give y'all just a little bit of specific business, you know, stuff today. We've been talking about a lot of what, I don't even know what this has been so far, but we're gonna talk a little bit of business right now. But how I am renovating the funnel. So we have 3 core products in Big Idea Food: the book, the community, and the coaching. And so I have essentially and I needed to, what I felt God asking me to do was really, how am I nurturing people from the point that they buy the book on through, you know, the rest of their journey with us, right? What am I doing to further nurture and minister to them? And so that looks like, one is make sure I have my notes here. One is creating nurture email series for each of our core products, right? And so I've done that with the book so far. The book now, you guys know, many of you who are familiar with my book, Big Idea Food. If you're not, get familiar, bigideafood.com. But it is, once people purchase the book on my site, it's actually a 52-week devotional. It's for 1 whole year. Now, a lot of people read it sooner than that, right? But it is for 1 whole year. So I've created a nurture email series that actually checks in and ministers to them throughout the year. And it's not like a billion annoying emails, y'all. It's like just, you know, little check-ins at nice little points throughout. And if you guys ever want to see those emails or anything like that, we can definitely do like a back end look at those. I'm happy to share my back end with you guys. But yeah, so we have a nurture series for when people buy the book that really ministers to them throughout the year after they purchase the book. It will lead them to joining Tribe. It will offer them the opportunity to work with us in coaching as well. And it does it, I feel, in a way that is like at a good timing along the journey of once they actually have the book in hand. So that has been a really great thing to write and then install. And then I am working on the welcome email series that ministers to people after they join Tribe. So again, after you join Tribe, we've built in a lot of amazing amenities to help steward and usher people along the process of getting acclimated. But then we also have an email series to support and make sure that people are just know what's available and getting the help that they need. The coaching program is still being renovated, y'all. I'm still figuring that out, but those already have some existing nurture emails, but those have been a wonderful and wonderful way of me feeling like, yes, God, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm nurturing your people. The next thing, installing an integrity-based upsell into the funnel. And so if you guys are familiar with the term upsell, if you're on a website, you are buying a product, it's in your cart, and now you're getting a pop-up that's like, hey, buy this too. After the work that we did with the ads and losing money with ads, I realized just with the profit margins that we have on the book alone, running ads with that profit margin causes us to lose money. So we're in a position where I'm either just paying the money to just bring people into my ecosystem, or somehow we can actually, make that a profitable transaction for the company. So I started looking at like, what can I do to provide an upsell that would still nurture and minister to people where they're at, while also helping us to, achieve our goals and being more profitable with our advertising. And so we are installing that. And so our upsell is going to be Tribe. I'm just going to be like, come and join Tribe, period. That's the next step I want everyone to take anyway, after they buy a book, is come into this family and let's be together. So that is what we're doing. It's actually going to be, I think, a lifetime subscription to Tribe for, a low amount of money. They'll have that time period to get that access. And if they do, great. If not, cool. We're going to still reach out again to invite them into Tribe. So it's a beautiful thing. And so that's going to be really helpful, again, for profitability, but then also, again, just for bringing people into this space with us where we are right now. Next thing up, I had to install a sales tax management solution. Woo, child. Listen, sales tax had been an area that I was just ignoring. I'm gonna be honest. It was just this gray area that I was like, I don't know. I'm gonna just, I don't know. I don't even know. But, it was time to figure out what the heck sales tax requires, what they're asking of me, especially because, so Uncle Sam doesn't come for me because I ain't paid sales tax on 2 million copies of the book, right? Like, I don't want to live a life where that happens. So we had to, install a management solution for our sales tax. That's still in progress, but I've selected the vendor, Quaderno. If you guys are product-based businesses, Quaderno does a really great job of monitoring and tracking where you're at in every state, so that you know when you've hit a threshold for when you need to start paying sales tax in that state. So if you have questions about that, feel free to ask. I have learned a lot about sales tax now, so I can definitely give you some tips there. Next thing is renovating Tribe. So Tribe, in my mind, when God was like, what am I sending them to? It was like, you need to get Tribe together. And y'all, the way that I was doing Tribe before was like running ragged, and it wasn't smart. It wasn't sustainable. So we had already made some changes and we had to make more changes essentially, but renovating Tribe. So you guys, we're going to go through the things that are here now in Tribe and kind of what our programming is going to look like shortly if we have time. But that was necessary, as well as then updating the sales page to be what's currently being offered. our current schedule instead of what was what we started with, because we are in like Tribe 2.0 now. Maybe it's Tribe 1.5, I don't know, but anyway, those things had to happen. And then the last thing, and so if y'all haven't seen it, bigideafoodtribe.com. It's still in progress. You know, one day we'll have like a beautiful sales page and stuff, but right now it's beautiful because y'all's faces are on it. Oh my gosh, I love it so much. So bigideafoodtribe.com, you can definitely check out the sales page and see what all we offer. I'm going to share that shortly as well. And then, yeah, the last thing, finalizing how and when we'll present people the opportunity to join coaching with us. So I had to finalize that and then install that into the funnel as well, so that people are just naturally being, you know, we're holding their hand into, you know, coming and joining community. And then when they're ready, getting into coaching with us as well. So beautiful, beautiful things that have happened in terms of building the arc for the reign that I'm expecting. And I highly recommend, you know, do that too. The other piece is not only get your business infrastructure together, but also get your life infrastructure in order. Okay. And that is a whole message in and of itself. But God really, as it relates to my finances, for me, for you, it may be some other area, but for me, I had to get my finances in order. The way that I was managing money in my personal finances was affecting how I was managing money in my business finances, right? Naturally, that is what's going to happen. How you spend money over here is how you're going to spend money over here. So I had to get the infrastructure together in my life. And not just that, but also, like I've been sharing, getting my rhythms in place as far as it relates to getting the rest that I need, spending the time with family that I need, and just creating more balance and harmony throughout the life. So that is, as you're getting your business infrastructure together, do not neglect the systems that you need in your life in order for you to prosper and to flourish. We'll keep going since we're pretty short on time. But the next lesson and just mindset shift that I have gotten, Portia said, this is me, my affairs are constantly not in order. Yes. And it affects your business, like among your life, you know, and among other things, your relationships, everything. So working on your habits and mindset simultaneously. This was a big one for me, guys, especially in the financial department. I had been working on like my money mindset for like 2 years, I think, at the time that this kind of dropped. And I realized that while I was still I had been working on my mindset, my habits, my money and financial habits were trash. And it's like, yes, do mindset, but also you need to do the physical work to get your habits in order, right? We cannot just be manifesting with our mindset and not if you manifest it, it's still gonna lose, you still gonna lose it, right? So we gotta, you know, do both, right? And even after that realization, I caught myself focusing on habits more than mindset. And so, you know, we have to do both, right? We have to do them equally as much as we can. Yes, like Omega said, faith without works. We have to do the work. It's so necessary. So if you're caught like focusing in one area or the other, this is just a call to just find a way, build it into your schedule, build it into your routine to work on both. Just work on both. And that is something I'm working with. That is something that I'm building and desire for Tribe to support in, is just with habits and rhythm and flow in your life. So we'll talk more about that when we can. And so the last lesson, oh gosh, this could be a whole top 2. Why did I save this for last? Okay. So let God handle the strategy. Oh, goodness gracious, guys. So this has been another major mindset shift for me, especially being a strategist. I am marketing strategy in general, really business strategy, strategy about how best to load the dishwasher. Like, I am just a strategic thinker. Okay. So you know, that is a gift of mine, and I have always leaned into that gift. But I just lately, God has been showing me how much I have leaned into that when I need to let him do the strategy and let me focus on the things he's telling me to do. And he really made it clear when I shared the strategy that I got funded last year, right? I spent months outlining that strategy, y'all, months. And it was a good strategy, but it wasn't a God strategy, right? So he just showed me all the time that I wasted, strategizing when I could have just been creating, when I could have just been having a good time, having fun. And this isn't saying like just no strategy at all, but what it is saying is we don't have to put so much, I don't have to put so much dependence on my own strategy. God was like, what if you let me strategize and you just be free to create and play and have fun? Like, I already have it all figured out. So if you just do what I'm telling you to do, you know what I'm saying? You're going to be on strategy and it's going to be the best strategy, right? Like you spending all this time. And that's where it was getting me is like, you're spending so much time strategizing. You're wasting time strategizing when I already have the plan. Like, and I know it's not just me. I see y'all saying in the chat, like, we waste so much time doing strategy. And it was like God showed it to me like in intervals. Like I had spent months to design this whole year-long strategy for Big Idea Food. Then I was like, okay, I see that's not working. So let me just strategize for, I think I did like, I don't know if I did 6 months or like a quarter at a time or something like that. But then it was like, it shifted again. And then I was like, okay, let me just figure out what I'm doing for these next 2 weeks. Like, it was just like, he slowly kind of just showed me that you're spending this time to do this planning and this strategizing, and you could just really be spending the time to create. So take what you need there. All right. Yeah, like Portia said, just wake up and say, well, God, what are we doing today? And y'all, that is the energy that I'm bringing now daily. And it's exciting. It's like, like, okay, like you actually, I don't have to come up with this stuff. Like, and I enjoy strategy. I really do. It's like fun for me, but I also enjoy creating. I also enjoy spending time with you guys. I enjoy creating content and like, and I enjoy those things even more. So it's like, okay, sometimes we have to let go of and just like loosen our grip on some of these other areas that God really has on lock, so that we can focus in on some of the areas that we're really graced for and that are really in alignment with our deepest genius and calling. Okay. Woo. So yeah, it's just a lot. So those are pretty much all my learnings, y'all. That's it. Hopefully you guys got something out of this. Did y'all get something out of it? Let me know in the chat. It seems like you guys did.
I think Omega has something she wants to say.
Ooh, Omega, what you talking about, girl? What you got?
Right, really, you would hang me out there. Right.
We calling you out on your first day one. You getting called.
You were talking about strategy and stuff and us not using it. So I'm a planner. I love writing things out. And I was in a place where, everyone is planning on Instagram. Everyone is doing this particular kind of content planning, which still works. So I sat down one day and I started planning. I have a whole wall, categories, everything, stuff that I'm going to plan out, what I'm going to post, how I'm going to reach my audience, like, and use not a single post-it. Now it's just what I do now is just I know to keep my notes handy. I know to keep a notebook, something to write with, something to write on. Because as stuff comes to me, that's what I share now. And that is apparently what works. Like just paying attention to me and the stuff that I encounter. Like this whole, they look nice. My good penmanship I use.
My good
none of it. My best Sharpie, my best cursive, and yes, waste of time.
Okay, first of all, that is so hilarious. I'm just gonna jump in. Sorry, Tracy. I see you trying to call me out, but those are scriptures, honey. Scriptures. But I definitely agree. Like with I do think it's really good to plan. There's so many scriptures in the Bible that talks to us about planning, but based on what Marlena shared and something that I'm seeing in my own life is we don't know, and this is another scripture in the Bible, we don't know if we're going to live to see next year. We don't know if we're going to live to see next month. So it's very important to obey God in the moment, right? So if he says, like today, he was like, I want you to post on socials before you come to the tribe meeting, because he's encouraged me to post at a certain time every day. But then he changed the game. He was like, no, post before, because he knew that this meeting would, like, I would be here beyond the time that I usually post, right? But so I guess all I'm saying is, yes, it's important to plan, but it's also what Marlena is saying is like, go with the moments rather than the, the long term. And yes, again, you're building this arc, like she said, you're building this arc for the rain you expect to come, but you don't know if God want to bring the rain tomorrow or, next year. So like, you have to go in his plan. So that's it. I'm done.
No, that's it. That's really it. Like, you know what you know right now in the moment that you created that strategy. But if you live another moment, you have already learned more. You've already become more wise. And it was wise when you did it, but life is evolving every single moment. And God has all of that figured out. It's just, man, I'll tell you what, like, if I knew these things, man, when I first started, I just hope that anybody who is new in their business, that you will really take heed and listen to these things, because it will help you go so much further, so much faster, I believe. So I'm so glad you guys have gotten a lot out of these lessons as well. So I'm gonna go ahead and stop. Guys, this is great. But real quick, because we do have just a few minutes, any just thoughts momentarily before we like dismiss? Anybody have anything they want to share or any questions?
I got a comment for you talking about.
Let me get ready.
Oh Lord. I got a comment about you saying that you can basically have the work life or the profession that you want, right? And not build to it to eventually in your later years live the life you work life professionally how you want. I'm gonna tell you a quick story about me and how that is so true. So a couple years ago, a friend of mine was having a going away thing because he was getting promoted and having a new job. So went to that. And this lady came up to me. I never met her. So must be somebody, of course, said, we also know the same person. She's there at the event. She comes up to me and she introduces herself. And then she starts asking me kind of specific questions, which I thought was kind of odd for somebody who we just met, about my profession, and said, I just wanted to ask you this question. What would be your dream job? And like I said, I've never met her. And I'm like, okay, this is interesting. And I said, you know what? I'm building the dream job right now. I don't have a dream job. And so she was like, that's a very interesting answer. She said, I've never had anybody say that. And I said, because it's true. It's like, I'm not going to like sit here and know exactly the tenements that I need to have a dream job. I'm literally creating and building my dream job in real time. Little did I know, about a couple of days later, my friend, who's the person we both know that has a new job, called me and said, so my friend, I forgot her name, was so impressed with you. She was actually trying to find someone to work with her because she works at an energy company here in DC, and she got this huge promotion and she needed very good people. So it was indirectly a job interview for an interview I didn't even know.
Wow.
And she was like, who is she? I need her to be on my team. I wouldn't look for no job. I don't even know her. But she said there was something about her and how she answered that question that was like, if she don't know nothing about energy, she's the type of person that will figure it out, and also the type of personality that I needed. So I just want to encourage you guys, live your dream now. We need to stop dreaming and we're just over here I call it zombie apocalypse. We're just over here in life, and we're not even alive. We're just going through life as zombies, trying to figure out like, okay, what are we sleeping for if we're never going to wake up? What are we sleeping for? So that is so true. I have March 1st this year was 1 year for being full-time in my business. And I'm trying to tell y'all, I turn down more people than I say yes to. Why? Because my time and my energy is more important. Because guess what? The money will come. I know that sounds cliche, but I'm trying to tell you, I have not advertised one time. I got 3 calls today for potential referrals, people from friends. 3. And that's not everybody's situation. I understand that, but I'm trying to tell you, make the life you want right now.
Period. What more is there to say after that? I don't have anything. I think we're Ross said, who invited Gary Lee? Portia says she about to be knocking on your door, Ashley Dior, so you can
look. I'm over here.
Sorry,
Come on.
I totally typed Gary V, but I don't know
Gary
why.
V, and I said Gary Lee, and I knew in my head that it was Gary V, but we know. That was a word, Ashley Dior. Thank you.
But I'm trying to tell you, especially as Black women, the world relies on us, on our backs. And look, I've been telling folks, I'm collecting all the paychecks this year and the years beyond. It's time to collect all this tax, add 3 times the tax, because we saving everybody but ourselves. No more.
Listen. Y'all better listen. Okay. Yep. No mas. We're not doing it.
No.
Thank you. That is such a word. I'm so glad we got that recorded. Whoo, child. Anybody else? Anybody else got one last thing? Anybody want to follow that? Because I don't want to follow that. I'm not gonna even attempt. I feel like, the Holy Spirit has spoken. Okay. All right. Praise God. Well, all minds clear. We will, I will be in touch with you guys for part 2 of today, and hopefully we can get that in this week. I do have the event Friday and I leave on Thursday, so it may end up being next week. We'll see, but hopefully I can get it in. And if so, yeah, either way, I'm gonna let y'all know. Thank you so much. Thank you for being here. I feel so full. Again, just seeing all y'all's faces. Tribe, we are going to go over the schedule. So we definitely have stuff coming up. We definitely have things for us to do more together here in this space. So we getting it back, y'all. And it's going to be better than ever. So get ready. And until we meet again, I love you guys so much. Have a blessed, beautiful day. Talk later. Bye.